When you wish upon a star. Yes, that is what this movie is based on. Chase Liaki here with the Blue Futon reviewing Wish in 3D 4DX. So, what is this movie about? Pretty simple premise. You've seen the trailers. A girl wants to be apprenticed to the Sorcerer King, but however, she gets denied, and she wishes upon a star, and the star comes down, and now all of a sudden, magical powers ensues, and the Sorcerer King thinks he is being challenged. Hurrah! And now, battles ensue with magic. So, do you like this film? Okay, it's a fine Disney film, but I think, okay, false. It's a fine modern Disney film. If you want to compare this to the classics, held to the na na na. But the problem with this movie is the marketing and what it was trying to do with the member berries, as well as just trying to please people overall. So let's talk about 3D and 4DX first. I do think the 3D is very solid in this. There's a lot of pop-out effects. There's a good amount of depth. And I think the 2D/3D animation really does help with that style. You're either going to like that effect or not. There were some interesting effects when it comes to this film, especially with the 3D effects going back and forth. But we'll talk about the whole animation style later. But I'll say the 3D overall works. All right, the 4DX, same thing. It works. And I think it's really solid. It's not as chaotic as Trolls because these songs are more calm, cool, and collective, and it does the nice swirls, the nice backs and forths, and good like massage things in the back. I was like, ooh yeah, keep massaging my back. So I did enjoy that aspect of it. So if you want to bring your kids to this 3D and 4DX or I do recommend it because it does do it justice. So the movie itself, like I said with the first reaction, my 15-second review, I think the marketing, I think how they I want to say produce this movie or how they want to portray this movie as 100 years in the making. This movie is not 100 years in the making. We're going to talk about why I know it isn't. We're going to talk about the positives. I do think the story itself is finally a leg up on Encanto and other ones. Yes, I said that in Moana. What? Yes, I do think that because there's actually a villain here. There's actually a Sorcerer King villain that you can say that is a villain. Because when you look at Encanto, name the villain. Maybe the grandma for keeping secrets? I don't know. Moana? A volcano that magically gets happy? So it's like at least I could say that's a villain. And I know that it maybe is the grandfather of the Mirror Mirror on the Wall from Sleeping Beauty. So I could see that. And when it comes to that, there's a lot of member berries. Like I said, either going to like that or you're not with Peter Pan, Mary Poppins, Sleeping Beauty. And to name just a few, that there's a bunch out there. And then you have a feather trying to draw the Mickey Mouse ears. There's a lot of stuff in there that you go, oh, that's cool. That's cool. But after the, oh, cool, you're like, did that really need to be saying there? Because all of a sudden you're thinking, why'd you tell me this? And I know there's those rabbits, kind of like Thumper, Bambi, Big Brother. There's a lot of stuff, or Bear Brother, that you're just like, I understand what you're doing. It's kind of cool. But then you're like, you need more than just member berries to make a solid story. Then we talked about animation. Like I said, I do think it's good. However, each character feels like they're in their own different movie. Like, I know the whole 2D, 3D animation, it works. But the king is animated so much differently and more like, I want to say flamboyantly edited or animated. We'll do it that way while all the other characters are more like stoic and more just like normal. But then the king has these weird facial animations that only relate to him. It does feel like the animators, someone's like, you get the random friends, you get the main girl, you get the king, you get the king's wife, you get the background. It does feel like there's a little bit too many hands in the pot for this one to make it a cohesive animated film. All right, so like I said, but it's a fine movie when it comes to story, when it comes to songs. The songs are mid at best. There's only one of them that would be like, okay, that's a nice little, ragtag one, and that's the one where they're finally like, revolution, even though I really hate that word revolution. It bothers me. But that is probably the best song in the film. The Chris Pine one, where he's like, respect me, was bad. I'm sorry, it was not a good song whatsoever. All right, here's my biggest issue. is I understand what they're trying to say is this is 100 years in the making, and this is about, and I won't lie, the end credits got me. The end credits and the last, like, end credit scene was the best part of the movie, because when the credits were rolling, you're like, oh, I know that movie. Oh, you know that movie. And those member berries worked, because I was like, oh, yeah, Mr. Toad. Oh, I know that one. I know this one, Big Hero 6. Oh, is that Fox and the Hound? Is that this animated character? And I was like, oh, yeah, that's so cool. And I actually got every single one of them. So that felt good. And at the very end, when I want to say the grandfather's playing When You Wish Upon a Star with the guitar, and that worked, because you know what? That brings back the member berries. And every time I hear that song, I do get emotional, because it does bring back good memories for me. And that really does solid for me. And yes, but like I said, the movie itself, I don't think it understands Disney movies. Think about this. Fox and the Hound, Bambi, Lion King, Jungle Book, 101 Dalmatians, even Big Hero 6. I'm going back to like Big Hero 6, even that's the recent one. Bolt. Like I said, Mr. Toad and the Frog, if I'm saying that one, the Headless Horseman one. Hercules. Oliver and Company. You see what I'm getting at here? There's themes of loss, regret, and what can you do to make yourself better? What is out there in the world? There's always going to be crap in the world, but what are you going to do to overcome those obstacles? And even though this whole movie, Wish, is about everyone gets a wish, and even though if your dreams don't come true, you could change course. That is not what Walt Disney and they were trying to portray in the past. Dumbo. Not everyone's wishes were done. Bambi, Fox and the Hound, Little Mermaid. Every one of these people had moral dilemmas of like, if I do this, I have to get rid of this. If I do this, I lose this. And this movie doesn't do that. This movie still wants to be the happy movie where everyone wins, and no one has to sacrifice anything. And that's the thing. At the very end of the movie, nothing is sacrificed. No stakes are lost. Even you go to Frozen, you're like, yep, some stakes have to be lost with her not being able to connect with her sister, and she always loses that time. She will never have that time. Yes, you could say these people lose the wishes and they forget what they wish for, but here's the thing. They forget. They're like, oh, what did I wish for? And they go on with their life being happy-go-lucky. And you're thinking, okay, you can maybe go into that regret territory of like, oh my God, I really regret giving that wish up. And you did have that with an 18-year-old, but it was so new. You should have done that with someone that really realized, like, I lost something when giving this wish up to this king. You don't have that character like this overarching, just older person that just realized they screwed up. And you need that type of character. And then when they decided at the very end where, I'm going to say the very end of what the character is supposed to be, it was another just straight cheap shot in my opinion. I mean, but here's the thing. I might be dogging on this movie a lot. However, I'm still, and okay, yeah, one more negative. I don't think the goat worked. The humor just didn't work for me on that level. This movie is a hard movie for me not to give a positive or negative to, because there are elements where I'm like, I really enjoyed that. It really made me feel good. It brought back my memories. It brought back just good When You Wish Upon. Like I said, every time I think of that song, I start tearing up just because, like, Pinocchio and the loss and what you got to do to sacrifice to get what you want. And this movie doesn't do it. And yeah, like I said, it works, but it doesn't at the same time. I just feel like it is a middle of the road movie. It's fine, but I wish it did more to just do what Walt Disney really wanted to show. So Wish will receive a 2.5 out of 5 of Futons, which equals that 50%. And that actually hurts the soul. I think I gave Strange Worlds the same score. If I didn't, if I gave Strange Worlds a higher score, that's a bold-faced lie. Maybe this is a 60% movie. I could watch the end credits, like, nonstop, and that's the weirdest thing. That sounds kind of weird, but yeah, just a lot of things worked, but I think more things didn't. Let's see what the correction scores gave this one. Oh, damn. A 46% with 112 of them. I better take this off my Gold Derby ASAP. Audience score 85% with over 100. Crit consensus. Wish earned some tugs at the heartstrings, with the way it warmly references to many of the studio's classics. But nostalgia's no substance for genuine storytelling magic, no matter how beautifully animated it might be. That is a very weird crit consensus. Anyway, damn. People, okay. 46, 60, 85. Chase Lock here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. I don't think Futon Topi. Futon, think it's a great day. Now I can watch the stage tomorrow, week from now, month from now, year from now, every single freaking one of you. It is hard for me. This could be a 50, could be a 60.